India and then re-imported very often in the 60s and 70s and restored, left to rot out in the wilderness and then brought back here for restoration. And the family of Varleys, going back one or two generations now, have been involved with steam traction over many years and were at the front of the re-importation of many of these. And here it is in its original livery. It really is a splendid presentation. Next one up, a little roller. This is from Aveling and Barford. Aveling and Porter, the original company, were major manufacturers of steam rollers. They were world renowned for the quality of their rollers. They teamed up with Barford, who were into engineering construction, and they began to produce these little diesel rollers, very often used on cricket fields and sports fields for rolling, and also as a pavement roller, and might have been used on some of the smaller lanes and such like. So nice to see one or two of those have survived. Now we begin to see the full-scale roller. This Aveling making its way in. Compound engine, in other words, it's got two cylinders in that cylinder block just behind the smokestack, up on top of the horizontal boiler. Rollers, like the road locomotives and showman's engines, very often round with a smooth flywheel. And here we can see a roller with a canopy. A number of them did have them, and this one runs from just behind the crew to just to the rear of the smokestack. Now that provides protection, not two smooth ones at the back. It's got its canopy. It's got protection for the working mechanisms from the sides as well. Very nicely presented. And we can see as he goes around his box there. So this is tricky for rollers. Rollers and grass don't often mix because the very little traction, you've got the weight, but with those smooth rolls which are there to do a job of rolling hot bitumen, you don't want them to stop if you're on grass. And they've done a brilliant job. That isn't easy to move a roller on conditions like these. Now we've got the full ploughman's train. Now Sharp Houses of Old Hall at Bow, they've got a pair of these big Fowler ploughing engines. Now we really are going up in scale because the ploughing engine was their big boy of steam traction engines. And to have two up in this part of the world is amazing, and we're absolutely, in fact the other one's going to follow him in, so we've got a real bonus. But here we can see the contractor going about his job. He's got the counterbalance plough immediately behind the engine. He's got his living van, and behind that a water bowser. Now we were talking about this when some of the miniature engines came through, and this is massive. Look at the cylinder block on top of this horizontal boiler. It's huge. You can clearly see the different diameter cylinders there. Steam into the small one first, recycle through the big one. Look at the size of the connecting rods onto the pistons in that block, and you can see the crankshaft and the gearing here. It's beautifully quiet. Quiet means it's been well engineered and well maintained. Steering, as with many of these engines, is by crossed chains underneath, but the big feature is underneath the boiler a huge winching drum lying horizontally with a winching rope. Now these engines worked as a pair. There weren't many up in this part of the world because they needed the big flatlands that tend to run down the east side of the country with big fields, big arable fields. And you would have one engine at each side of the field. One here, near these rails in the arena, one at the far side, and the plough would be drawn between the two engines, pulled by the winches under their boilers. Old Hall Farm at Bow, just up the road here, not very far away if you're on holiday, is worth a visit. These engines and others are all on display. It's a very interesting place, and we're going to video of it there showing steam ploughing using counterbalance ploughs and cultivators being used. So amazing. We're absolutely delighted, so convinced to get engines of this size and scale here. And these guys are going to have to be very clever with those steel cleated wheels to get away over what has been wet ground. I think we're drying it out with the amount of rolling it's getting. Wayfarer following on, a beautiful example again of Fowler's big engines. This has got its counterbalance plough between. You can see plough blades front and aft and a seat at each end. And underneath that boiler you can see the big winching drum. both in full working order. They do provide ploughing demonstrations, both in this part of the country and elsewhere. Can you imagine transporting this lot around the country? I wouldn't want to pay for the diesel and the low loaders needed. So these guys, the contractors who would have had these engines, would have travelled the country and right through the year during the ploughing season and also harvesting season. And look at the size of that. That is wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen, for making the effort to bring that in. Next one, look. Okay, so just passing the East Grandstand now, we've got an example of Burrell's steam tractor. This one was built in 1919. It was known as the gold medal tractor. Burrell were awarded many awards for their engineering, and this is a lovely example. This one running with a canopy. The box just behind the crew there will keep their tools and probably hanging a hose off it as well. We'll see as he goes by. But you can see with the steam tractors, they were a potent machine, 2 cylinders with a compound arrangement up on top of the horizontal boiler. We now begin to see clearly the boxes between the front and rear wheels on the sides of the boiler are in fact a tank running right underneath, and it's an additional reservoir. We can see the hose hanging off it as he'll come round. So do look at those features. This is a very nicely presented little engine, and that's the Burrell gold medal tractor just moving now towards the West Grandstand. Again, you can see extremely well presented. The crews work incredibly hard to restore their engines to this size and scale. You can imagine the heat going through, the expansion and contraction every time they're fired up and cooled down. There's an awful lot of maintenance needed. As this leading steam tractor goes past, again you'll see on the near side, just in front of the rear wheel, those 2 vertical rollers, the guides for the wire rope that's attached to the winching drum that sits just inboard of the rear near side wheel. And I think it's a total replica of the it's a Foster, the Foster steam tractor. And I say replica because it was built in 2008. It could have been built in 1908, but it is a beautifully engineered replica. It's correct in all the details and extremely well presented. Next one up is an unusual roller, this tandem roller, single roller, front and rear. This is a roller by Roby. Again, Roby's were manufacturers of steam-driven vehicles over many, many years. And here we can see a very simple framework encasing the horizontal boiler. The crew just have a bit of seating here. So single rolls forward and rear. That gave them the access into narrow areas. Could have been used on a sports field, I suppose, but a bit perhaps too heavy for that. But for narrow lanes, pavements, park areas where there was smooth ground that needed rolling, just a nice example. We're certainly sorting out our field today. Next one up, big road locomotive. Fowler's Western Star, making his way along. Now we can see just the size of those wheels, front and rear. We've got the water hose hanging off the offside. Twin cylinder compound engine, this, the cylinder block up on top. Some good protection there for the crew and the working mechanisms again up on top as he goes by. And now we can see again on the near side as he leaves the grandstand, just hanging off the back there, those 2 vertical guide rollers. Nearly all of these engines would have had a winching drum. Today's a good example. That had been any wetter, we might have had them winching themselves out. Little Forest Queen now, another of the lovely examples that have come down from Hexham amongst Derek Orbuck's collection of steam vehicles. This one, a little showman's tractor. Showman's tractor, notice, stuck out in front of the smokestack here, a big bracket with a big dynamo on. Full length canopy to provide protection for that dynamo, a smokestack projecting above. The little tractor would have hauled a fairground ride and accommodation for the travelling showman when it was parked up. Then from the flywheel to the dynamo, a big flat belt would have been attached, and that would have generated electrical power both for the ride and for the lighting set around the canopy. And here, another showman's to follow on. This one with its smokestack extension on the bracket up on top of the canopy that you can see there. Again, when that was parked up, generating power. It's slightly apocryphal that people had men with a red flag walking in front, but they did have to have an audible means of warning. So just listen to this. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for that display. What a lovely day, the sun's come out just at the right time. A couple of things to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't rush away, because in a few minutes' time we'll be presenting awards to the major award winners. The stewards will accommodate you in front of the grandstands for the purpose of the auction. Do come along. It's for a very good cause, as we probably all understand. And while the stewards are moving vehicles and bringing in the award winners, we thought we'd just take a few minutes so that the crew have been doing fabulous work for Macmillan Cancer Support over many, many months. They've done long road runs, pulling behind them this living van. They've used steam vehicles for haulage, and so today, to finish off the current round of escapades, they wanted to see whether we can auction off the living van. So I'll be handing over to the auctioneer very shortly. No doubt he will want to drum up some business. If you're interested, ladies and gentlemen, come along.
I'll just make that known right across the field at the minute. We've just finished the steam display in the arena. We have steamers coming out. We've got major award winners coming in for the award presentation too. But in the meantime, we also have right here in front of the grandstand a living van which was built for and has been used by a team that have been raising funds for Macmillan Cancer Support. They want to top off this round of fundraising by auctioning off their living van.
here this afternoon in the sunshine. It's a great big welcome from the purple helmets all the way from the wonderful Isle of Man. And they're going to start off with the nose to tail trick. They're ready to go, I think. Let's give them a great big Flookbourgh welcome and a big round of applause for the world famous purple helmets, everybody. Sadly, this is the last time this afternoon, but we hope that in years to come we may be invited back. I'm not sure whether we will be or not. Talk to your local MP. Here they come now, what a turnout. Everyone an army, World War II trophy coat, like a suit of armour, adopted by our team as long as 21 years ago. Back in the Isle of Man, this show was to be for one night only, back in 1995. And here we are 21 years later. The only snag being that we're all 21 years older and the ground is just as hard as it was 21 years ago. Let's give them a big round of applause there. Let's give them some encouragement because we're going to bring on the knights of old now. This is brand new this afternoon. The medieval knights of old with the jousting competition on their famous Honda horses. Here they come. Here's the Tossalot, I think. Here he comes now. Let's give him a bit of encouragement here. This is for real. They do kill each other from time to time. Did you ever see the like of that now? Back on the road for the first time. In Knights of old. In days of old when knights were bold and women weren't invented. I better not read you the rest. It's a bit rude. Let's get them lined up. We should have a referee here somewhere. I think he doesn't understand that one has to come from from each direction. I think you need to go over there. Yes, I think he knows. So on the blow of the whistle. Sir Brown Rod. He's fallen off already. Thrown away his lance in disgust. I think it's going to be hand-to-hand combat. Either that or the bike's just stopped. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. He's abandoned his horse and he's walked away. He's asking for another horse. He's going to have hand-to-hand combat, I think. This is for real. I think she's going to knock his head off. We'll try and get his horse started up. It's hand-to-hand combat now. In a big coat on a hot day. They're knocking the 7 bells out of each other. And it's all over, everybody. Let's give them a big round of applause there. He's killed him. I think the horse is worse off than he was. Let's gather up their rubbish and get them away. And I think we're going to go straight into something else now. I can find the set list. Yes, I've got the list. I think we're going to go for the scissor trick. The scissor trick is where the bikes are equally spaced by the men standing on the seats and the spread of their legs and the strength of their underpants. It keeps it all together. Let's see off the jousters with a round of applause, everybody. Let's say goodbye to the jousters. Got rid of them. It's the scissor trick of the little monkey. There's the little monkey coming along behind. He will attempt to ride between the rider's legs. It's very easy to make a ball to this. Monkey little chap. And through he goes. Nearly made an ass of himself then. All the team round. There's been a bad crash. She's fallen to bits over there. We'll get them mounted up. Get the little monkey back fired up. For those of you who were here before, you'll know that there's hats and t-shirts shirts for the purple helmets over at the blue tent. They're mounted up again now. We've got a photographer here with us today to take family snapshots. He's got the red tape now. He's through. There's the monkey. He's knocked the pyramid down, but he's still on his bike. And through he goes, kids. Here he comes now. Let's give him a round of applause for the little monkey. Find out, little monkey. He's knocked the whole damn lot down now. I told you he was a cocky little kid. He's felled the whole pyramid. They're down but not out, everybody. And now for your enjoyment this afternoon, musical interlude featuring the naked pianist, everybody. He's the weight of 6 bags of cement. He's our naked pianist for your enjoyment today. He proudly displays the #1 plate at the back, while he tickles the ivories at the front. Down the field now in the warm sunshine at Flookbourgh. What a sight it is. What a sight for sore eyes. He's one of our athletes of speed, trained and honed to perfection. Many minutes of practice. Let's give a big round of applause there for the naked pianist, everybody. Off we go. And now we've got our sprinter. We have our athlete here, the 6-meter man. Just to cool him off. Nice bucket of water at the end. Let's give a big round of applause there for the naked pianist. And now we've got the 60-meter man. He will run to the end of the pitch and crash through the railings in less than 5 seconds. So for this we use a safety rope tied to the Honda. The Honda's for 2 jobs. It's to hold him back in case he crashes through the barrier at the end of his run. But it's also to provide a slipstream that he's sucked into on the way down the field. Now our top stuntman ties the rope on. He shows you that it's a real rope tied to the bike. No tricks here. Try and raise a clap for him now. He raises the crowd to fever pitch. The bike is started up, and at speeds approaching 100 miles an hour, he will be sucked into the slipstream and run to the other end of the field. He's nearly ready. He's ready. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go! I see. It's been a technical hitch. It's been a technical hitch. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. He's promised to perfect this, but he still hasn't got it quite right. Let's give a big send-off there for the 100-meter man. And they cool him off at the end. It's like a horse after the transmission. They cool him down. We're going to bring on our marksman now. Using live ammunition, an ancient blunderbuss used to shoot china plates at various intervals round the field. You may need to keep your head down a bit for this because it's live ammunition. The man on the trolley there has a real plate. He's a fearless man. He'll hold the plate, the marksman will take aim, and he'll blow the plate to pieces. Are you ready, stuntman? He's ready, he holds the plate. Yes! Quite delay in the shot there, but he takes another one now. He's going to shoot the fellow holding the plate, I think. Hold the plate, it's a real plate, yes it is. A deflection shot over the shoulder. He holds the plate, he raises the gun. Yes! Everyone a winner. He's going to take a different angle on it now. I think he's going to do a deflection shot. We need some assistance at the bottom. The machine has turned over in the swamp. The plate machine. I think we may need some assistance down here from a high-up crane or one of the steam cranes. The attempt to right the machine. The breakdown crew have arrived. And now you know why they couldn't have the heavy tractors on there yesterday. I think they've probably rescued the situation. Got it going again. He's rescued the plates. He's back in position. That wasn't on the script, actually. It could have been. He's going to come round now. The marksman will do a deflection shot using a mirror where he looks in the mirror to see where the plate is. The men in the middle have the mirror. He holds the mirror, cunningly designed. Yes! He shot the man with the mirror. I don't think he's supposed to shoot him, but to see if he's still alive over there. Is the mirror man still alive? He raises a leg to show me he is in fact still alive. It doesn't matter anyway, we've got plenty more. And there's plates, plenty of plates, so don't worry about that. Have we another plate, stuntman? We have indeed. A nice piece of Royal Doulton china. Now in view of the mirror man, he's up. I would say his demise. He'll have to reposition himself. Then there's a reflex shot. And if we're all still alive, we'll do a long shot from the other end of the field. Just give us a second while he repositions the mirror. That'll do. In fact, anywhere will do. That'll do. Yes! I think the mirror man's had enough now. We'll let him go. The mirror man's gone. Have you got enough plates there, stuntman? He does. You're going to need two, I think, are you? No? He takes aim at the far end now. This is the long shot. This is a very, very difficult shot, even on a sunny afternoon with good vision. Are you ready, gunman? He's ready. He tells me he's ready now. He raises his gun. Oh, there's two up there somewhere. Can you see them anywhere? There's one. There's another one still up there, kid. See if you can see it anywhere. Yes! Absolutely amazing. Let's get a big round of applause there for the old shotgun. Everyone a winner. And now for your enjoyment this afternoon, it's Roll Over Man. Roll Over Man. He has to warm the blade. Get the necessary flow on the machine. His world record is 4 somersaults, put on a tarmac track. And today I think he's going to try and get a double on the grass. Yes, come on everybody, let's give him a big round of applause there. Let's give him a big cheer. Let's see if he can go for the double here. And down the field he goes, let's speed approaching 100 miles an hour. 1, 2, wow, come on everybody, let's show him what Flookbourgh thinks of. Fantastic. I want to try that sometime on a stomach full of ale. Come on, roll over, man. 1 now. 2. Yes. 2 doubles in a row. It's the roll better than the lottery. Will he get the third roll? 1. He's got good speed. 2. It's a 3. It's a 2.5. It's a 2 3/4. Yes! Come on, that deserves a great big cheer. He's probably dizzy by now. Never gives up. Thank you, roll over man. Let's give him a big send off there. What a gutsy guy. Yes. Now we're going to do the 3s, 4s and 5s. It's only because on one bike you see 3 people, possibly 4 on another. We never do 5s, but it sounds good. 3s, 4s and 5s sounds better than 3s and 4s, I think. What do you think? They mount up now. This is very dangerous, actually. Very, very dangerous at these breakneck speeds, it says here. Down the field now. He covers the rider's eyes to add to the mystique. On the blow of the whistle. A fantastic display there. They get the show on the road. You can see they've dispersed with the red tape over there. Arms are outstretched. Let's give them a bit of encouragement as they go past everybody. What a spectacle. Super this afternoon. The bugle brings up the rear. A little bit of sheer concentration or constipation, I'm not sure which. Down they go, arms outstretched. The balance of this man, they said he was unbalanced. He probably is as well. Let's give him a big cheer, everybody. There's the bugler. Take it to a conclusion. There they go, the world famous purple helmets with the 3s, 4s and 5s. Now one of the highlights of the afternoon, the International Wheelie Bin Racing Championship. This is been held over 4 heats this weekend. The only snag is nobody kept any results from this bin. So this is the bin race. These bins were stolen off the streets in Douglas in the Isle of Man, converted overnight into road racing bins. It's an Isle of Man thing, where we have the international TT races. We also have international bin racing. Some of them have got rude names on them, so think what you will of that. You line them up here. They actually go better on tarmac or on concrete, they slide better. They got some good speed up this morning and yesterday evening. Get them lined up. There's no particular track that they use, so they could come through the barriers near you. Oh yes. It's the bin race. Tuning up now for the finale of our weekend. Had a wonderful time over in Flookbourgh. Cars are on the way up. And they're away now. The bins are off down the road. International bin racing. It's the Kansas Kansas from the Flookbourgh. Number 4. Snow tips. Golden grass flying in the air. big Flookbourgh a round of applause for that. Let's give them a big cheer, everybody. They must be the most dangerous dustbins in the country. Oh, wow. The bin race. Now I think got a little treat in store with the chainsaw massacre. For this we use live proper chainsaws with the chains on them. And we'll attempt to burst balloons with them. Breakneck speed. There's the chainsaws there, he revs them up now. Just to show you they're real chainsaws. And we get two of the lads to volunteer. The balloons inside their knees. And they will find one each side, and the chainsaw will burst the balloon and go down. Without so much as an injury, they will burst the balloons. We've got any balloons left after the party. Ready with the chainsaws. Where's the balloon men? It's one of the... Oh, there's the balloon, a purple balloon. You'll see that we've got purple balloons. And they're going to ride very close to the chainsaws. But I managed to miss them that time. We'll get them next time. That's it, rev them up more. Are you ready, everybody? Hold your breath. They will burst the balloon with the tip of the chainsaw. You've never seen this done before. Oh, they've cut the legs off them. They've lost their legs. They cut the legs off with the chainsaw, everybody. Now this is going to get difficult. How are they going to retrieve their legs and take them down to the hospital? Tries, but no. How's he going to get his leg here? He hasn't got a leg to stand on. Oh. There he goes, doing his best to get his leg back. How's the other fella going to manage? He's going to have to hop. But how's he going to start his... Oh, he's fallen off his leg. How's he going to get his leg? How's he going to pick up his leg and start his motor on one leg? This is the question. They both managed to get hold of their legs, put them back on. Oh, that boot sticking out the back there, that's not his real leg. That's a spare boot that he carries. You don't believe me, do you? There he goes, let's give him a cheer there. We thought he was legless. He seems to have 3 legs now. But he is from the Isle of Man. Can he start the motor? He's going to try and start the motor with one foot. He hops on it. Nope. Gallant hero. He was legless last night as well. Yeah, down he goes. It's very difficult on one leg. That's why you don't often see a bungee standing on one leg. He's got to go with his hand. Hand start. Let's give him a quick send-off there. With a chainsaw man. Now we have a huge lineup of bikes here for the Seawalk. The Seawalk was devised from the James Bond film, where James Bond walked across the backs of the crocodiles. Some of you may recall, but the RSPCA said we weren't allowed any crocodiles here today. I don't know why. But we use Hondas instead. I think we're going to use a double James Bond act today. One going through each end. And they'll change over on the back of the long pipe, which is in the middle, like a railway junction. When they meet in the middle, they'll walk over. You might need some encouragement with this because it's very dangerous. Get as many bikes as we can in a line. Stood on the seat when they set off at breakneck speed. They've set off, everybody. They've started. Nowhere near in formation yet, but they will be. He starts to walk across now. He's walking across furious speed. He meets in the middle of the long pipe. pottery. The other fella's Roger Moore, when he goes through the mud, that can't be easy. Absolute chaos, but in a fine formation. He's coming round now, he's going to try and walk back across the seat. All this at speeds approaching 100 miles an hour can't be easy. And here he goes. A full view of this now. Whoop, it's been a bit. There's been a bit of a crash. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute while they untangle them. We might have to give them a bit of encouragement to get this. Let's give them a big clap, see if they can get it across really fast. We're going to give them some encouragement, everybody. Come on. The technical hitch, I think. Save your clapping for a minute. And we're going without the long bike. Let's give them some encouragement. Let's see if it... Oh, what a tosser, says here. Oh, let's give a big send-off there for James Bond and the sleepwalk, everybody. He needs to get the long bike now because that's our next thing. You'll notice that the man on the long bike has a jug on his head. We call him Jughead. What will happen? The men on the bike with him will pass buckets of water along the line, and the jug will be filled without spilling a drop of water on the rider. And fresh water is ferried to and fro by the water carriers on the Hondas. So here we go with the buckets of water. Jockey in position here. Taking it around. I think it's a technical hitch with the long bike. Don't forget she was involved in a very, very bad crash a minute ago. And she needs a spanner. So. Back on the road, everybody. Momentarily. Doesn't go very far. We might have a small interlude while they fix the bike. We'll have a little musical interlude for a minute. Have they fixed it yet? I hope so, don't do anything else. Can't play anything else. I don't know what the problem is. I can play one more verse if you wanted one. Is this by popular demand? Do you want another verse? Just fit it in there. And round they come now with the long bike for the first lap. The first bucket of water at the ready now will be passed along the line. The rider's a good lad. There's the first bucket going up now. They pass the bucket along the line without spilling a drop. And they intend to fill the jug. There's a little bit of water the jug into the rider's brain. It's a water switch that makes him ride better. Buckets of water are an essential part of this. There's water flying everywhere. I don't know if there's any in the jug. They're doing their best. Let's give them a bit of encouragement. Let's give them a big shake here. Come on. Crazy boys in Flookbourgh. With the fantastic noise of the hoppers there. What a spectacle this afternoon. More water. More water, you say. Here it comes. Oh yeah, baby. Let's give them a big send off there for the long bite of the water drink. There's water everywhere. Water and buckets. Now, irrepressible as ever, they will build a huge pyramid, and if we've got enough men still alive, we'll build a second one. The first one's called the A pyramid. That's the A pyramid built with all the best riders. They will circumnavigate the arena with the pyramid. They're all hand-picked and breastfed, these lads. Everyone a winner. There he goes now to get the great Waldo up on the top of the pyramid. Believe me, it's a long way down if you fall. But of course they never do. But yes, I think they're going for a B pyramid. Let's give them some encouragement here. They set off now in the pyramid across the field. On the backs of these little 90s. Absolutely fantastic. On the blow of the whistle. Absolute acrobats. Everyone. And the B pyramid's nearly built. It's nearly there, everybody. What I have to tell you about now is that the A pyramid, well, they're our best riders. And, well, they're quite good, really, but this one, this is the B pyramid. And, well, they're shy, really, but they do their best. Let's give them a big cheer. Get them back up there. Come on, the B pyramid. Here's the A pyramid coming out. They wave to the crowd. The great Waldo is on the top of the pyramid. He'll be performing solo later. Well, what a lap there. The B pyramid is still negotiating here. They're going to go for it, I think. Hold your breath, everybody. Let's give them a bit of encouragement here for the B pyramid. They're still up there after many seconds. They are still there, everybody. Let's will them along here. Come on, the B pyramid. Oh, yes. A revolution in pyramid selling here today. He stands on the top proudly. Oh, and she's collapsed. Let's give him a great big send-off there for the pyramid. So what we do now, we get our ugly man with the broken nose. This is him carrying the front of the plank. You all right, ugly man? No, I don't think he likes me calling him an ugly man, but you can see for yourselves why. And he's got a nose like a claw hammer. So we lie him down and put the plank on top of him. Then if it hits him in the face, it doesn't matter. That's why we use him. He's got the sole concession for this. I think he needs to get it further down the field. Yeah, he does. It takes a lot of a run up here to jump over this. So we lie him down, and then everyone else jumps the bikes over the top of him. They rev up now. Spectacular. He tries the plank. Yes, the plank seems to be okay. Test the plank now. Yes. Oh, the plank. I think he's just got the wind out of his system there. So the plank is ready. Are the stuntmen ready? The stuntmen are ready. One by one they will jump over the body of the ugly man. Over they go, everybody. A man of steel with a hard nose. He lies down there without a thought for his own safety. Or for that matter, your safety. Over they go, and the long bike goes over and oh, what a sample, everybody. And now the argy-bargy really begins, because nobody wants to lie at the end. Nobody wants to lie at the end because the fellow was killed last week, but he's back here today, and we put him nearer to the ramp this time, so he's out of danger. And we have to get this right. It's very, very dangerous. There's a lot of cowardice here. They just don't want to lie at the end. So for this, we have to use our top man, and he has to okay this before we go any further. He has to say that this is okay. He seems to think it's all right. He lies down now. He lies down, everyone, and he protects his helmet now with both hands. I asked the stuntman, are you ready, stuntman? He gives me the signal. He is ready. Hold your breath, everyone. Whoa, and he's missed the ramp. That must really fill them with confidence. Just get back there now, come on. Hey, coward man, get back. You, yes, you, come on. We can't do it without you. He doesn't want to do it. He's been doing it for years, and every time it scares him. It scares him to death. Will do if he doesn't lie down. He's lying down, he kicks him into submission. The stuntman, I don't think he had enough speed last time, so I think he's gonna do a circle. Yeah, he checks it out for himself. Got to know that this is right. It's a long way down there. Oh. He's gonna do a lap round now. Okay, stuntman. He's not sure. It looks a bit iffy, this. He's going to cut his throat. I think that's what it meant. He's going to go for a circle. Through the red tape. Round the corner. Bit of a speedway slide round the top there. Full stick on the old Honda. Down the field now. Wow! Come on, everybody, let's give him a great big cheer for that. Oh, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well done, stuntman. And now, the great Waldo will climb onto the shoulders of his friends at the far end. The Honda will travel down the field, where the front wheel will strike the plank, and Waldo will fly through the air without the use of a safety net and be grabbed by all his friends. It says here. He doesn't want to fall out with them. Are you ready, Waldo? He's too nervous to answer. Here he comes now, down the field at speeds approaching 100 miles an hour. Yes! Come on, everybody, let's hear it for the wonderful purple helmet. All the way from the Isle of Man. We give you our salute. You've been a fantastic crowd this weekend. Absolutely amazing. And thank you, Flookbourgh. The purple helmets, everybody. There's hats and t-shirts still left over at the blue tent. If your kids want to become a purple helmet, their first step is to get a woolly hat and a t-shirt. Thank you, Flookbourgh. Thank you.